welcome back to another episode of the Lightdrop podcast, where it's just two homies talking creativity and beyond. My name's Jamil.
And my name is Jeff.
So Jeff, we've been AFK for the last 2 weeks. We took a little bit of a break with you know how it is. We had stuff to do. Busy lives and all that. But we released that lessons learned little snippet kind of episodes that we were experimenting with.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Jeff
making those videos, talking through going working in a prison at some point. I was like, man, that was an interesting time, just walking around the jail and the prison, and then seeing people and getting to walk out at the end of the day.
The Electrician Chronicles.
But the good thing is, the Electrician Chronicles, most of those guys, they were on their way out. I wasn't interacting with anybody who was like, you get to leave, and I don't.
Yeah.
They're all about to leave, so I hope they're doing all right.
Yeah, let us know how you like those little short kind of mini episodes. We kind of have an idea to continue those regardless, in tandem with these longer form episodes. We want to try and get some more guests back on the show, continue the conversations with us. Another thing we wanted to try out, though, because we tend to just dive into some crazy topics right off the rip, but this time we wanted to kind of chill for a little bit, play a little bit of a game. Jeff, this game I've got for us today is called Debatable. It's kind of like Would You Rather, but with a twist. And so what we're going to do, we're going to spend the next, 10 minutes or so. Jeff and I are going to pick a side of a debate topic, and we're going to try and convince you, the listener, the better option. So here's how it's going to start. I'm going to pick the first card. Jeff, you could pick the side you want to argue for. And then we'll go for a little bit of time. Okay. And then we'll leave it at that and let you guys decide what the better option is. So here's the first debatable topic. Very first one. Jeff, which would you rather be for the rest of your life? Sticky or itchy? Pick one. Okay. And let me know the other one.
I'm a sticky.
All right. Oh. All right. Yeah, so
I'm done.
All right. Let me start a timer, because we could potentially go on for a long time with this. I'm gonna start a timer for let's do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 7 minutes in the middle. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm picking sticky because the feeling of being sticky is not as irritating to me as being itchy. And I will say that because when I grew up in Kenya, one of the worst things, actually, when I went back to Kenya, one of the worst things, it's not the worst thing in the world, obviously, but it's just frustrating. Mosquitoes, man. Mosquitoes, they're so strong. It's like they bite you with a
I heard about those African mosquitoes.
Tough. Because they're used to biting through leather, right? Like the cow skin. So, and then they're like thicker because they survive longer because they haven't been killed off by, I don't know, whatever it is that we have in the United States, right? So they're just very resilient mosquitoes, and they're used to biting like animals. They're very tough. So I would pick sticky. I think the first few months will be rough of living this new life. Trying to decide, like, how do I drive? How do I?
Yeah, I mean, you just said it right there. How do you, like, you're trying to drive and you just feel like you can't even grip the steering wheel. It's like all clammy, and I don't know. If you are itchy, at least it's like not really impacting the other things that you interact with. It's just kind of like, it's like pull yourself together and just,
No,
because if you're
I
itchy,
refuse.
like, I don't know, you can't really, like you can't really do anything about feeling sticky. At least if you're itchy, you could, like, you know, rub your arms, pat your arms, scratch it, put some kinda
Mhm.
something on you, some cream, I don't know, to at least alleviate it. But
No.
what are you gonna do if you're sticky, except sit there sticky?
If I would think if I'm sticky, I'm spraying myself with fixative
What?
because I can stop fixative. You know the stuff that people spray on artwork to like settle
Oh,
the. I
wait.
guess yeah, it's just the sticky stuff. I guess you can't use cheating stuff.
I'm not sure that
Uh,
works, though.
I don't know if that would actually help though, because I'm thinking of a sticky as a syrup, but you're thinking of just like
Well, I mean,
you
sticky,
stick to
like, bro,
things.
like, if you're sticky, if you're feeling sticky, that's like,
Hmm.
on a humid day, like, your shirt's, like, just sticking to you. You're all, like, moist feeling. Nobody likes that feeling, right? And you
Okay, what
gotta deal
about
with
this
that all the
now?
time. If you're itchy, though, it's like I said, it's just kinda
Yeah.
like, you can get your mind right, for a little bit, and you can kinda shrug it off, like, "Okay, I'm a little itchy,"
No, you
like
can't. Okay, because you're gonna be itching the whole time, right? And then after a while, obviously you spray yourself with whatever it is. It's gonna come back. You're gonna be sticky. Oh no, itchy again, and then your skin might start getting dry.
well,
At
I
least
mean,
if I'm
there's
sticky,
products
like
for
my
that.
skin isn't gonna
There's
fall
products
off.
for that. I feel like you can manage itchiness way better than you can manage stickiness. Because sticky is just like, what am I gonna do to fix that? How do you fix sticky, Jeff?
You don't have to.
What do you
I
mean?
wouldn't. I wouldn't need to. I think I would be uncomfortable being sticky, but I wouldn't be like, I need to solve this all the time. I think the thing about being itchy is that that reoccurring pain is going to come back. Either you get rid of it. There's always this constant thing. It feels like I'm trying to sleep and then someone keeps dropping water on my forehead. Like no matter what,
Like
for
torture?
the rest of my life, I'd rather just be like, yeah, it's torture. It's like I can feel that itchiness. It feels like somebody's like tickling me constantly.
Yeah, okay, well,
I'm trying
so,
to sleep.
but, so you would rather feel sticky, but you can kinda manage it, get used to it, or you would see if you're itchy, like I said, you can completely eliminate it, even if it's only for period of time, like you said. At least there's products. There's products for this. You can go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours feeling completely normal. Whereas if you're sticky all the time, you know, what if you're trying to relax, trying to sleep? Can you imagine, bro? Could you imagine getting out the shower and you still feel sticky? Dude, come on now. That's
I would. I feel like I would work through it. I would. I mean, bro, I told you I used to do construction. I used to be sticky for 8 hours. You think if you I need to be sticky for 16 hours and fall asleep? I can do this. I feel like I would go crazy being itchy all the time, feeling like, and then on top of that, being itchy, and then a mosquito bites you on top of that. It's
mm,
like, what now? What more do you want from me?
mm.
So I don't know. I think based on my trauma, I don't think I can go through being.
All right. You know what? Here's my closing arguments. Itchy,
Yeah.
for all y'all out there, just understand there's all kinds of technology, products, creams, ointments that could alleviate this problem 100%, even if it's only for a little bit of time. Because either way, you got to deal with this for the rest of your life. But if you're itchy for the rest of your life, you can eliminate it for a period of time and be feeling absolutely normal. Whereas if you're sticky, it's this ever pervasive feeling that you can't escape ever. Not in sleep, not in bathing, not in the pool. How do you relax sticky?
You close your eyes. here's my closing thoughts. Why I think being sticky is better than being itchy. So being itchy is obviously like a constant torture. You're just constantly experiencing this thing. Whether or not you relieve it, it's gonna come back. The fact that it's coming back would drive me crazy. And if I'm sticky, I can wear gloves. You know, I'm obviously wearing other clothes. I can kind of get away with not annoying, people or life. But yeah, I'd rather just do that because I can close my eyes and just go to sleep.
Mm, fair,
Hmm.
fair.
Okay, let us know in the comments. We want to
Would you
hear
rather be sticky
what we do.
or itchy for the rest of your life? Question of the day. All right. Aside from that, Jeff, tell me how you been the last couple weeks because we haven't even talked. I mean, because this podcast started off in general just because you and I have these conversations anyways.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
even talked like that in the last couple weeks. Been ripping and running. What you been up to?
No, oh man, first of all, I've been sick. I had my birthday was like 2 weeks ago I think the last time we talked was my
Yeah, it was your
birthday.
birthday when you were
Uh,
when we did the prison episode.
yeah, the prison joint,
Short.
the perfect time. Yeah, no, but things have been great, man. I've been traveling, went to a lot of museums, um, spent a lot of time just in nature, sitting outside, watching time go by, and uh, just taking a long, well, yeah, a much needed break because with work I haven't been able to take some time off, but things slow down a bit, so now I can take the time off, and
You
yeah,
had a
it's been
rough
great. I feel
like little sprint period at work, right?
trenches, man. It was literally in the trenches, but yeah, it was that just the annual
Mhm.
business of kind of like a company that works through like a fiscal year
Yeah, yeah.
schedule. It's like there's busy periods and there's not. So yeah, it was nice to take some time off. Went up to Asheville. I think you told me you've been there before, right?
No, but
Asheville, North
no,
Carolina.
but we're closer to it
You have it?
now. I
Okay.
think I know where you're talking about though. It's up in like the mountains, no? Mhm.
Yeah, mountains. It's connected to the Blue Ridge Mountains, and just really nice. It kind of reminded me of Savannah, but there was just more things to do. The art scene was crazy dope, and like a lot of contemporary artists. You could see like murals everywhere. Go to the museum, you see like local Asheville artists or North Carolina artists and stuff. So it felt like a much needed like overall break
Yeah,
and creative rejuvenation period.
that's cool. Is Asheville like sounds like a big kind of is it as big as Savannah if you're talking about size wise, or is it like
Yeah, it's definitely
oh, okay.
bigger. Um, there are these estates there called like the Biltmore Estates, which was I found out
Oh,
about yesterday.
I
You heard
think
about
so.
Biltmore? Yeah, that's that super rich family that owned Asheville
Yeah,
pretty
yeah, yeah.
much, and apparently they donated like a rainforest.
What?
So there's a rainforest somewhere in Asheville. I don't know. I gotta look that up
What do you mean?
because when I don't know. Some people are, I guess, so rich that they
They just
have
got they just sitting on
rainforest.
rainforests and they could bring it to
Yeah.
wait a
So
minute. There's a rainforest. First of all, there's a rainforest in North Carolina
I
because
gotta
that
look that up
sounds
because
like
now I'm curious.
impossible.
Mm.
Don't you need like the tropics for that? South America?
Apple Appalachian temperature rainforest. So it's there. No, it's just
Interesting.
yeah. Yep.
Well, yeah.
It's there.
I made that reference
But yeah.
the last time we talked about animals in the rainforest right now, this very second, around the world, or clouds on Mars. If you didn't listen
Hmm.
to our last couple little mini episodes, then you wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Check those out. But now I know we got
Definitely, yeah,
rainforest. You were only what, like hour and a half, maybe like 2 3 hours from me.
yeah. I mean, from Atlanta,
No,
or
from
I don't know
from
where.
Virginia.
I don't know how far away it is. It's. I don't think it's that long, is it? Though. I
Yeah,
mean,
it wouldn't have been.
it's not as long as I would think
Yeah, it
it
wouldn't have
is.
been.
Yeah, it's.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
Rainforest right in my
that'd be cool
backyard.
to meet up. Yeah, come through. Nah, but overall, great experience. I got to see Sampha,
Mm.
which was really dope.
Well, he's from
If you
Africa,
haven't
right?
seen him live,
Or at least
he's
from, like, he's
Senegalese,
African, but is
or
he from, he's, like, in the
yeah,
UK or something,
he's from
right?
London, in the UK. Yeah, I think he's Senegalese or Ivory Coast, somewhere in
Mm.
Africa. Like his parents are originally from Africa, but they moved to London when he was a kid. Um, Concert was dope, man. Just overall, like such a good crowd. That's always nice when you go outside and you meet a group of people who are just friendly. Everyone there has the same vibe, and um, I don't know. Everybody was enjoying the music, and it was just incredible to see.
Think I've ever
Um,
listened to his music, like, just, by himself. I've heard him on, like, other people's records. Is he
yeah,
mainly, like, a singer, or is he, like,
yeah.
R&B?
He sings. He's
I don't
kind
even
of
think that's
like a
not even
mix
really a genre
between.
anymore, is it?
Yeah, nah, it's kind of like it's so blended now.
Mm,
So now I feel like um he mixes a bunch of effects with his voice, and then he has a very distinct voice. Um and he plays around with like the piano, and then like there's electric music into it, and just these interesting
mm.
beats. Um and then like the songwriting is really good because it's like super deep, but it's obviously like this like hype like music in the back, but when you listen to the actual words, it's like very emotional and stuff. So it's the second time I actually saw him within a year, because I was like, I wanted to go see him again
Was it like a
in
was it
Tennessee,
like a,
but something.
was it an outdoor concert, or was it, like, in an arena?
It was like in a small
Oh,
space.
okay,
It seems
okay.
like that's what
But
he does. Yeah, small
was it
space.
like, what am I trying to say? Like, was there like a level of production to the stage,
Oh
right?
yeah.
It was like they had lights and they had like,
Oh
or
no.
was there,
Yeah, I mean there was lights. Yeah, lights and
but
stuff,
or
but
like
it wasn't
choreography.
like
I guess that's probably the word I'm looking
yeah.
for. Like choreography, or was it just kind of like, you know, intimate stage? I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna sing.
Yeah, it was like basically everyone is in their own sections, his band members, and they obviously have their instruments, pianos, all their keys and stuff, and then they all um they kind of have like times where they're all kind of like all freelance. I mean, not sorry, they're freestyling.
Improvising.
So they're making their own music, yeah, improvising and stuff. So and then Sanford will come around and he'll dance and stuff, but for the most part, it's just like the music. It's like the space, you're super close to the
Yeah.
stage, um and it's just like he just goes from song to song, um and yeah, nah man, it was amazing.
Yeah, that's dope.
It was just, and he was like screaming, and like you usually when you think of like Sampha, you kind of think of like, those Drake songs where it's like super melodic and like soft, but when you see him on stage, like that man is yelling his he's like,
Yeah, I would
so
kinda, I don't know, I feel like I've been to a good amount of concerts in my life. I definitely
yeah.
would like to go to more of those kinds though. I think that those, I've been to a concert, you know who Bishop Briggs is? Singer.
Mm-mm.
Um, I think she's
No.
from the UK too, but I went to one of her concerts when she came to Philly. That was probably the most similar to the size that you're talking about at this sample concert, where it's kinda like
Mhm.
this intimate, like, um not an arena, but it's a little concert hall, and
Yeah.
you can't really hide in that space. You know what I mean? Like if you can't sing and you're in that environment, then I'm gonna know. You know, and so she
Hmm.
passed that test, right? She could definitely. I left that concert like, okay, yeah, she can actually sing pretty well
Hmm.
with some nice range and everything. And then good performer. And I went to a Snarky Puppy concert last year. You know who Snarky Puppy is? Bro, you
Nah,
gotta
all
listen
these
to
names,
Snarky
man.
Puppy. It's a like a jazz funk band. Um,
Oh, I love
and
those.
they're yeah,
Okay.
they're crazy live, like crazy, crazy live. It was the same kind of deal. I was maybe only like 5 or 6 rows back from the front of the stage, but when you're in those environments, you just like you really feel the. It's like I said, you can't hide, from the audience because they're right there. They can hear you. They can kind of feel like they can touch you. You're
Yeah.
right there. Um,
Yeah.
and then of course I've been to the arena concerts. I've been to the Drake concerts, the weekend concert. I went to a
Hmm.
weekend concert in Montreal once, and I'm pretty sure he was singing well, but it's like it's just so many people there that you
So
can't
far.
you can't. I don't know. It's almost like you could argue which one is better, which one is worse. But I feel like I feel
Mm,
like uh I feel like those kind of intimate concerts where the artist is like big, but also not crazy, crazy big. It's like the right size.
yeah. It was it was definitely my favorite experience at a concert. Just being surrounded by people. It's not. We're just here to listen to the music, and everyone is like vibing, and you're close enough to the artist that you're not like squinting to see them. Like the music, even if you're in the back, you can still hear the music well. So it was just an amazing experience, and I wanted to I wanted to when I was there, I was like, I wish I could like record what I'm seeing and then bring it to the podcast so I could share with everyone. Cause I was like, this is so interesting because I was thinking about this quote that two quotes actually that I'd like to share with you. One quote that I heard right before I went to the Sanford concert, and then another one that I kind of just thought about, or even maybe realized while I was at the concert. So the first one was it's by I think it's um, Aristotle. The quote is art completes what nature can't. And I just thought it was really nice that we have all these artists around, musicians, you and I are artists, and we have these things that we see and we experience that you know obviously nature can't come up and write music, like wind can't do that, but humans can. We have this thing within us that adds to the nature of who we are as human beings. So just a nice quote that I felt like I was like, oh, that's kind of nice that us as artists, we are the completers of some of these things.
And I feel
Um
like that's why we feel
and
like that's why we feel like especially those who uh deviate, all the lawyers and accountants out there who wish that they had stuck with painting, you know,
yeah,
who or just like feel it in their soul that they want to dance or whatever the case may be. It's like
yeah.
you can't. You reach a certain. I feel like I'm starting to feel that now that I'm getting older, right? But that
Hmm.
I'm removed from college. I've been in my career for several years. It's like you you can't. outrun that, like I just imagine if I was doing anything else, even though sometimes it does feel like work, but I couldn't do. I wouldn't last a week doing
Yeah,
something that wasn't even remotely like art related, like as a profession. Um, or I should
yeah,
say, like as like a like okay, like this is what I'm gonna do as my career, quote unquote, for the end of time. It's like
yeah,
when you're in that position, it's literally like you said, it's your nature. It is nature to bring out those things and to make these things happen. Um, there's like this balance that gets tipped when you don't follow that.
yeah. You kind of you have to get back to it, but it's like I said, it's such a nice thing to think about and to always consider that it's like we're somewhat lucky that we get to express ourselves in this way. And the Sanford concert definitely showed me that. I was like listening to this music, I was like, wow, this is truly amazing. So that was the first thing I thought about right before. And then the second thing I thought about was when people were, everybody was super loud in the concert, and I was looking around. I was like, there's so much energy in here, and everybody's so sweaty, and like I keep
Icky.
bumping into people. Yeah, it's sticky, right? And it kind of smells, and it's dark. And I was like, there's another quote I recently heard where it's people basically somebody was saying they were like, everybody's so scared of AI, and humans are like they're gonna take our jobs. And this guy, I forgot what his name was, but he was like, what if that means that's it for us? It's like this is the end for humankind. It's like we've done everything that we can, and now we've birthed something, and now we're afraid to watch it push forward. Is like how selfish are we? Like why do we always think that we're the center of the universe, right? So there was that thought, but then there's this other thing that I was thinking about when I was listening to the concert, because I was like, you can't you can't replicate this. You can't, bumping into people and smelling people and hugging. We all hugged at the end. Not me and my friends, not everyone else. We all
Yo,
hugged.
it's all y'all sticky,
We're just
all of you
smelling. And the thing
sticky,
is, they
funky
turned on the
people,
lights.
just like group
We're just like,
hug at the like what kind of concert is this?
yeah, nah, that was the vibe at the end because it was incredible. Because I was just thinking, I was like, this is probably the first time in a while that I felt this overwhelming feeling of wanting to make
Mhm.
something. Like it was almost terrifying the way I was like, I need to get out of here. I need to go. I need to go
Oh,
find like
oh,
I don't know, something, a wall to start painting on or something. Because I was like, how lucky
where's
are we?
Jeff? He said he was
Uh,
going to the bathroom. He's been
yo,
gone for like
it's
30
just a
minutes.
no pun. Terminator. Just, must create. Uh, but no, it was such a good weekend, man. That's all I got to say. I feel like that is the closing thing. I felt like I was super lucky to be a part of um, this creative industry, to be able to express myself in this way, to be close to a medium that allows me to tap into like my artistic self, my emotions. And uh, I'm looking forward to making more things this year. So
I think
that was
when I think of that, it's like it- it's interesting how that works with like real stuff, this real concert that you saw with this real person in front of you creating this actual music that you're listening to.
mhm,
It's like in your heart of hearts that you can make something like that. Like you can make something, right? You know that you're a talented
mhm,
person. Cause I think of like even with even with fiction stuff, like I can't tell you every single time, even still, if I watch The Fast and the Furious or Too Fast, Too Furious, or Tokyo Drift. By the end of the movie, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm trying to race. Like, I'm trying to go like
yeah,
like I want to learn how to drift a car through like the mountains, right?
yeah,
It's like you just get this like when it's a really kind of dramatic thing that you're like really into with a good story and vibe, you're like you leave and you're just like I want to do that. Like
yeah,
I like but in this case
yeah.
it never faded because you're like I actually can do that. For me it was 2 3 days would go by, Jamil, you don't have a
You don't have a
you don't
street
have
car, first of all.
a race car. You might not
Yeah, you're not Vin
and
Diesel.
have
Calm down.
diesel. It's not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. It's like, all right, let me go back to making dope
Yeah.
art, right?
Yeah,
Nah,
that's a
that's
good
a
point.
nah, man. It was it was it was such a it was also, yeah, like I said, like an interesting AI learning weekend. I want to shout out Michael Robert Michael Murray. He's a guy I listen to. I'm gonna talk about this real quickly because I feel like the things that he talked about need to be said, at least for us to be aware of. So um, he brought on this term that I've never heard about. It's called cognitive triality, and I looked it up and I was like, I think he
Yeah,
made
I
up
was
that
about to
word,
say
or maybe he
he
just made
made
it
that
together.
up.
Yeah, but he I guess he just used it as a way to explain his model. So his model for cognitive triality is basically there are three ways that humans have perceived things now that are possible, right? So there's the objective reality, which is what we're used to. So we'll see things, we understand those things, and we can manipulate those things in our physical world. But now, right, there's this artificial intelligence reality. So you can get on Chat GPT and then explain something to it, and then it makes something, right? And then there's the imagined reality, which is like, what are the possibilities of the objective reality? Like humans can paint abstract paintings. That is the imagined reality. It kind of exists within its own sphere. Um, and for the most part, like most people can't tap into the imagined reality as easily because it takes a long time to, not everyone knows how to paint. Not everyone knows how to write, saying whatever to get that imagination out. So that's what he was saying. Is like we've now reached this space where all those three things are possible for anybody. It's like anybody can create their own worlds. They can take writings, languages that they already know, and use it to solve problems that they have. So it was just super interesting word. I was like, I'm gonna take that word.
Triality?
That's my word
Is
now.
it cognitive
Yeah, cognitive
triality?
reality, super smart word. But I'm like, what?
So, I mean, everything is created twice, right? The first it's created first in your head, and then like that cup you just drank from, right? Like
Yeah,
however many eons ago before they had cups, and someone was like, I'm tired of using my hands to drink water. Like
yeah,
they thought of it first. Like literally
yeah.
everything that we have in our surroundings was started off as a thought, at some point. And AI
Hmm.
is no different. Like even in all of
Yeah,
our psyches, I mean, I was born in the 90s. I'm sure it was the same in the 80s. Science fiction, 70s science fiction is like this thing that just assisted us, this like,
yeah,
this stuff that took out all the mundane things, right? Like the calculator is the first thing that many of us use that kind of bridge that gap. It's like I don't need to,
yeah,
I don't need to rack my brain
and
around what 79 plus 26 is. I'll just,
yeah.
you know,
There-
phone,
There's always
you know,
right. I was every time I think about this, I'm always like, remember that one teacher who was like, "You're not gonna have smartphones everywhere,
yeah,
or you're not gonna have a calculator." I'm like, if you don't sit,
exactly. So it's and
so
the thing that
technology is
that
always
scares people
yeah,
is oh, it's taking away the wrong stuff. It's like I don't want AI to make art for me. I want it to do my taxes for me and my
Yeah,
laundry and cook, meal prep for me, like, so that I have time to write.
yeah,
Like, I don't want it to take my writing away, right? I feel like
yeah.
that's where this, like, battle is. It's like, "Wait a minute," like, what I was thinking the other day was, um, you know how they say, like, "Oh, they don't make them like they used to," when they're talking about, like, I don't know, I feel like tools is a good example, like a sledgehammer,
Yeah,
you know?
let's use
It's
yeah, yeah.
like a sled I think I saw a thing on YouTube, this demonstration of this sledgehammer that was made, like, years ago. It was, like, 80 years old, this sledgehammer. They tried to put it under one of those you've seen those that YouTube channel where they put a hydraulic press on everything. They tried
Yeah,
to
yeah,
press the
yeah.
sledgehammer and it did absolutely nothing. Like, they cranked it up
Dang,
and it just did nothing to this
yeah,
sledgehammer that was made, like, 80 years ago, and they did one now that they went to Home Depot and bought, and it just flattened it like it was nothing,
yeah.
and it's and you just think about, like, the materials that were used, years and years and years ago, leather and metal, and, like, that's what toys were made out of, you know? Like, now we got the
Mhm.
dollar store, everything's made out of plastic and, it breaks
Yeah.
easily, and you just go buy another one kinda thing. I feel like that's what you're gonna see with, like I mean, like these, what's gonna separate the companies now, these companies that do decide to, like if they decide to go with the AI route and make their little quick things, quick, easy, cheap stuff, like, people are gonna know, like,
Mhm.
that's some, you know,
Yeah.
like
Just
yeah,
paste that
exactly, like, that's some cheap material, really, it's a cheap material, whereas what people really want with
Mhm.
their art is that quality, like, real materials that'll last and stand the test of time, um, and
Yeah.
everything.
No, that's a good point, man. I think the worst thing you can do is to be afraid of trends. I mean, you can use them to your advantage, but the thing is, like, some of these things are not going anywhere, and um, I don't know. I just think you, if you're wrong about the way that some of these trends are going, then you can really, really be wrong. But if you're right, it's like you'll just go back to living back the way that everything
Yeah.
lived like before. So it's like, why not at least you know learn a little bit of it? So yeah, that's what I've been trying to do recently. Is just like really learn it, not just the trends where it's like, oh, this is you can use AI to make NFTs for your face. Like, no, no, let's learn the
It is
stuff
true,
that
though, like you said, the
is like,
trends, because it's like, it's been a long time since something's came out that you had to pay attention to, like,
mm-hmm,
like social media has been out for a while, but, like, there's people who, when Twitter first came out, "Oh, what's this? This is cool. This is fun." Obviously, it stuck around, it didn't go anywhere, but if you
yeah,
didn't end up using Twitter, like, y y yeah, you
just
just
missed out.
you just didn't use it, right? Or you use it for a little bit and it's gone, and then, like, Snapchat pops up, like, I'm sure there's people out there, mothers, fathers, grandfathers, probably still don't even know what like you say Snapchat. What is that? It's been out for forever, and
Mm-hmm.
it's fine because it absolutely no impact. But now it's like I feel like this is the first time for a while that in a while that this AI thing has come out, and it's like no, no, grandpa, you should check this out. Grandma,
Yeah,
like do a little bit of research about that. Because I feel like even for me, um I've been trying to get back into being like more hip, quote unquote. Like I have my younger brothers-in-law. They're still in high school, early college, middle school. I'm looking at what they're interested in and like the language that the slang that they're using, right? It's like, you
Yeah.
think back to it seems like so long ago that that was us using this slang, and my mom, "What does that mean?" Now that's
Yeah.
me. They'll say something, I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "But
Yeah.
there's and
They,
you feel like, "Ah, that's just not my time." But no, it's like,
mhm.
go learn it just so you can kinda understand because those are the people that are gonna be the future using these terms and
Yeah.
creating new things, right? Like, it's like getting understanding of what they're watching, what they're actually talking about or enjoying or whatever. Um,
Yeah. Exactly.
I finally got
No.
after a long drought, I finally got a booking, that I started this last week. This last week, it's very feeling very fortunate about that. I'm getting the feeling that things are picking back up a little bit in my industry, at least in commercials, even if just a little bit. But I was a
Yeah.
little, not worried, but like it's been a minute since I've been in my working
No.
at
It had.
that like speed, at that pace, at that level. I was like, damn, am I gonna remember how to do this? But
Mm,
I was pleasantly surprised. It was like, it was like riding a bike, but it was just different this time because it's been so long of like, oh man, I wish I was working, right? It's like um I had this very cool feeling of like appreciation when I got brought onto this job that's already going. So it's like
mhm.
they've been working on this in the weeks prior to me showing up. So I'm showing up in dailies and just trying to pick up where they're already starting, where they already started. Um, and it's just like I don't know. I just had this moment where it's like, dang, like I I do have this expertise enough that I've built up over these years, even though it's been so long that I've had a job and I start to wonder, hey, is it me? Is it this? Is it whatever? But it's like, no, I'm here with this expertise at this pace, working on a
Mhm.
project of this magnitude, like just brought back, and it was just like, okay, let's let's go. And it was just this
Yeah.
appreciation because it's like, man, like this is what people in this industry want to do. I just felt really appreciative because it's like, dang, I just slid right back into it. Just felt really kind of fortunate to like, you know, to be in that position working on projects like that. And um yeah, it was a cool experience that I don't think I've felt since I started my career, like that kind of moment where it was like, dang, I'm doing it, like that I
Yeah.
had years and years ago on my first job. I kind of felt that a little bit again, where it was like, dang, I'm back at it, like, and
Do you think you were like, oh, I'm a rookie. I gotta not like a rookie, but you're like, I gotta figure out the lingo. You know what I'm saying? Where you're like, oh, maybe I
yeah,
forgot
that's what I thought.
how certain things
That's what I
work.
was worried
Yeah.
about. I was like, dang, am I gonna remember?
Yeah.
Am I gonna forget like where this button, like just the mechanical stuff, like where is
Yeah.
this button? How like like literally stuff like that because it's been that long since I've like really
Yeah.
been in the software and stuff. Um, but yeah, it wasn't the case. It just kind of came right back into the thick of things, picking up at like yeah,
Seamless.
seamless at that pace, but like also aware that like you know like humbly aware that not everybody can do this. Like like I've got the experience to be able to just slide back in on a project like this
Yeah.
that's already moving at this pace with X level of expectations to just knock it out. you know.
Yeah. That's a good place to be. I think about it all the time where I'm like, whenever I get frustrated at work, I'm like, this isn't even me um that into the industry. I'm like, I can't wait to be at a place where, I'm more of more of a thought leader because I've tried so many different things. I've had so many experiences. Or if I can just, give advice about design without opening up a program. If I can explain something to someone else, um, that's something that I really look forward to, being able to kind of like you said, like being able to seamlessly go in and out. If I take 2 3 years, I can still come back and offer the same value, and I don't have to like go through the mental gymnastics of, you know, being a starter where you're like, am I good enough for this? Can I do
Yeah.
this? You kind of just jump back into it and you're like, of course I can do this. I did this
Yeah, and we talked about it. It's not
thousands
even the
of
software.
times.
It's it's just the concepts, right? Like the foundation of just kind of knowing how things operate, how to communicate, with people about the project and how to present things and even your mention about the manual. Like just read the manual.
Hmm.
I was laughing at myself because I was thinking of that episode because um as a lighting artist, we have several different rendering engines that exist um to render something. Um
Hmm.
I think of it the best way I can explain it is like everyone knows how to drive a car and you've driven your car for a long time. If you were to jump into someone else's car, you still know how to drive the car, but you'd have to ask, "Where's the AC? Like, how do I turn the radio on? How do I like, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't know where those things
Yeah.
are." So that's kind of like what it
Yeah.
was. Where it was like, dang, what I was there was like a period of time throughout the day where I was just like, "Where's this button? Manual." I was looking at the manual online. Where is this button? Oh, okay, okay, okay. How do I do this again? Okay, 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 okay. And I was like, yeah, Jeff, just like Jeff said, you don't need to know as long as you know the questions to ask. That's what it is.
Hmm. No, 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 for sure, for sure. Um, bet no, I think it's a good place to. We have any closing remarks
Itchy
or
is is
itchy?
you'd rather be itchy because
Bringing it back. You thought of something this whole time in the back of your mind. You're like, oh, what did
yeah,
he?
I haven't heard a word you said the last 40 minutes. I've been trying to I,
You've just been thinking about being. See, that's the thing. That's what it feels like to be itchy. You're just thinking about it the whole time. You're like, I'm itchy.
that's the thing.
Imagine that for the rest of your life.
Mm,
Nah, couldn't do it.
it could be me.
Mm-mm.
That was fun though.
I'd be
I
like,
definitely want to
just
do that again.
no. That was fun. I have a couple of other games too. I can pull out. I feel like those ones, the ones that I have are like about friendship, but they're very like. Have you heard
Mhm.
of a game called? I think it's called We're Not Really Strangers. We're not really. Yeah, I think that's the game of the card game, but just really tough questions like what's your relationship like with your father or something like that. Not that deep, but around
Wait a
friendships.
minute. That doesn't sound like a game. Well, how do you win that game?
You just talk. You be vulnerable, Jamil. Come
Okay.
on.
All right.
That's how you win.
What is this?
Yeah, I got you. Time to be vulnerable.
All right. We got
Uh,
yeah, we got a couple of we got a couple of guests lined up that we're excited to bring on the show. As always, appreciate you for listening to the Light Drop podcast. Jeff, you got anything last you want to say before we see y'all next week?
um, no, I just want to say if you're in an area where it's starting to get warm, go outside, get that sun.
Touch that grass.
I think it's definitely touch that grass. Look at some greenery.
Go to the North Carolinian rainforest.
Yeah, go there, but with safe. What's it called? Safe gear. Don't just end up in the rainforest and then try and sue us. We do not plan to go there
Jamil
alone.
told
Just
me
want to
to
make
go
that
to
clear.
the
um, but yeah, no, that's it for me, man. Y'all be safe. Enjoy yourselves. Get some sunlight. And that's the pod.
That's the pod. Peace.